Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Joy News Today. Coming up, 3 students of SHTS stabbed in 3 separate incidents. We'll tell you about the details and police investigations.
Of Caesars.
Mobile Money Association of Ghana petitions minority for outright rejection of proposed 1.75% e-levy.
There are about 12 challenges should government continue to pursue the e-levy in its current state or form it will be bringing.
There's more from the association, and 3 people, including a Chinese, are in police custody in connection with the wrongful use of a scooter to cut log on the Ejisu-Kumasi Road in the Ashanti region. We have the latest. For details of these, plus business and sports and showbiz, stay with us for this edition of Joy News Today. My name is Mapito Sibidi. Let's settle for the details. In our first story, 3 students of Ejisu High Technical School have been stabbed in 3 separate incidents between Monday and Tuesday. A second-year student was allegedly stabbed in the back with a pair of scissors by 4 of his colleagues who attempted to rob him of his mobile phone. In the other 2 cases, 1 student was attacked by non-students in an altercation over girls, whilst another student sustained stab wounds in a rival student infighting on campus. Love FM's Erastus Asari Donko has more.
On Monday, an 18-year-old Form 2 student was stabbed close to his spine with a pair of scissors when he resisted attempts by 4 of his colleagues to snatch his phone. One of them, who police say admitted to the crime, is in police custody. On Tuesday evening, some youth from the Ejisu township attacked and stabbed another student of the school in an alleged fight over girls. The same evening, another student of the school was stabbed in the head by students in a fight on campus.
The boy was here getting snaps with his friends, and a certain guy from that group who came here that night went to that boy to collect his phone. That boy was in Form 1, and he said he won't give the phone to him. And when he forced to collect the phone, at that time he was there with a cutlass and a scissors, and he removed the scissors to stab that boy's back.
The students blame recent developments on the incomplete wall around the school.
So tell me, all this that is happening in the school, why is it happening?
Because of the lack of the wall, the inadequate of the wall. That's why they are facing that trouble. The town boys coming, disturbing us, collecting our phones, using knife to collect our phones.
One anyone in the town for no.
Because of the uncompleted wall, some youth from the town always attack us.
So at the center of all this infighting between student groups and the townsfolk is the curtailment of the school's wall right here. Now, this is where the school's wall currently ends, but the property of the school or the school's compound extends as far as the eye can see over there. Now, this is creating the infiltration of non-students into the school to cause trouble, and students going out of their way from school into the town's environment to engage in other nefarious activities. And this is what is creating the current problem, which has led to stabbings and unrest in the school. Ejisu District Police Commander Superintendent Fred Lumo says 3 people have been arrested in connection with all the cases as investigations continue. Meanwhile, the Ejisu Municipal Security Council is expected to visit the school on Thursday. Samuel Odro Frimpong heads the council.
I've told the assembly officers and the head that tomorrow when we come there, we shall all go there and look at how best we can do the fencing to ensure that we get a win-win situation. So that's what we are going to do at the moment.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Ejuso, Ashanti region.
The Mobile Money Association of Ghana has petitioned the Minority Caucus in Parliament to ensure the absolute rejection of the e-levy. The group cited, amongst others, that approval of the levy will undermine the country's cashless systems, job losses and the rise in criminal activities. The group, in presenting the petition, asked government to conduct an extensive impact on the levy before its passage. Here is the General Secretary of the Association, Evans Otumfo.
Yes. Mobile money has become, the major driver of both formal and informal sector. Everybody is now leveraging in whatever economic activities to transact using the mobile money platform. And so after our assessment, we have realized that there are about 12 challenges should government continue to pursue the e-levy in its current state or form. It will be bringing over here is, we believe strongly that the levy is going to elicit behaviors that can undermine the cashless system and digitization drive of the economy. The other one also has to do with the fact that millions of young people will be losing their jobs because mobile money agents, we are over 400,000. And so if averagely each agent is employing 2 people, just multiply and you can imagine the job loss or the potential job loss that the levy will impose on us. We also have 80% chances of going back to our cash system, which is something that should be very worrying to all of us. We are also envisaging a potential business that, people want to leverage on the availability of mobile money to bring. It is only going to be a mirage. Then the fifth one has to do with innovative businesses that try to leverage on mobile money may lose their investment. Records has it that other businesses have already done huge investment trying to leverage on the presence of mobile money to, introduce some businesses. And so the implication of the 1.75 levy, should it go through, then it means that all these people, their investments are going to lock down. Then again, we believe that the country will be taken several years back from where we have gotten, to. The cash system, the cash and carry system. Should the levy go through, these are some of the challenges that it will also bring to us. And then the issue of, we on the journey of bridging the gap between the banked and the unbanked, we are going to have a greater challenge over there. Investors in the sector will begin to draw back. We are agents, and of course, we play a major, partner within the industry. And so when we realize that, our profit margins are going to be affected, our lives are also under threat, then we'll be left with no other alternative than to consider pulling back our investment. Another issue that we have also, come to terms with has to do with is going to definitely slow down a tall list of economic activities in the country, which, were facilitated by the presence of mobile money. Robberies and criminal activities will be under ascendancy due to resort to carrying cash for travels. Our parents go on a long journey to, transact whatever business, and, they now resort to the use of mobile money. But as soon as we introduce the 1.75% levy, the fear of paying exorbitant charges, they'll be resorting to carrying of, fiscal cash on them. Then again, long hours of doing business will also greet us again when people tend to shy away from the levy. The cost of doing business will also skyrocket. And then the last one has to do with, it is definitely going to put so much pressure on the mobile money ecosystem and other economic activities.
Minority Leader Haruna Idrisi observed that government is set to meet the caucus over the levy and assured the group of conveying their concerns to government.
Where you stand on a bill and a legislation that will not only affect our quest for a digital economy, but on a matter that affects your livelihood and employment. and affects many others outside who have no voices to reach out to Parliament and to share their views to Parliament. I'm inspired further reading your text when I see the words I'm showing, particularly the page 3. I just paraphrase it. This, you know, will impact us also as agents. This, you know, will impact us as agents. And as you express it, not just mobile money agents, the fintech institutions, the merchants, the electronic money ecosystem will stand to lose with the insensitivity of the Nana Akufo-Addo government. I've heard very interesting stories in the last 1 week, and one which beats my imagination is to hear a Minister of Finance, Minister for Information, members of Parliament of the NPP say, without any shame, that allow us to raise revenue to build infrastructure. When the NDC and John Dramani Mahama initiated those VAT on financial services, was it to raise stones? It was to raise revenue for purpose of development. But all of a sudden, it's as if it's only them who know that revenue has used for infrastructure development. And now the argument has even shifted. That because the NDC thinks that if they get money, they will develop Ghana. Little did I know that they were obstructing President Mahama and the NDC not to get money to develop Ghana.
On the part of the ranking member on Finance Committee, Atu Fossen, government should pull brakes on the levy and assess its impact on the economy before its introduction.
Letter, circulating on social media and mainstream media that this very group intends to embark on a demonstration, believing that this policy the government intends to introduce, obviously, is not in the right direction. Today, what we've heard is a confirmation of our concerns that these young boys, young ladies, and young guys that we see here are very much concerned that not only their investment that is, if care is not taken, is going to collapse, but obviously their livelihood. According to the central bank, 441,000 people are registered as mobile money agents. On average, each person employs 2, 3, 4, 5. And so even if we are to stick to the traditional numbers of say 2 or 3, then you are obviously saying that over 1 million of ordinary Ghanaians will lose their job in case they introduce this policy. I say this because the demand for mobile money service is elastic. And since it's elastic, if care is not taken, if government goes ahead with the introduction of this levy, people will stay away from using the service, and obviously you will put them out of business and they'll be unemployed.
The Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, is expected to hold a crunch meeting with the Minority Caucus in Parliament over the controversial electronic transaction levy bill on Thursday, January 27, 2022. This is according to Minority Chief Whip Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, who made the revelation on Joy News' PM Express Wednesday. According to him, the Finance Minister reached out to the Minority Leader Haruna Jesu asking for an engagement with the NDC members of Parliament. Mr. Mubarak indicated that his side of the House will honour the invitation, but they will go into the meeting with secretaries and recording devices.
Oh, Finance Minister is going to do consultation. 1 solid month. Because remember we went on research on 21st. Yes. And we came back to 1 solid.
There hasn't been any consultation. Nobody has reached out to you.
The so-called civil society and they say they claim they want to do. They have not done all that. And they have wasted that 1 month.
But the Finance Minister,
now we come the first week. Listen, Speaker is there. Yesterday they started for 5 hours. He said that this week you are going to be levy. You are going to now reach out. Well, this my leader just informed me that the Finance Minister spoke to him
consultation?
Meet us tomorrow.
Everybody in the minority side?
Minority. Obviously, we have...
Not only the finance committee, everybody else.
Yeah, everybody. They want to meet the minority. Obviously, we are putting up our rankings.
Okay.
We are putting up our rankings. So, tomorrow morning...
To do what exactly? Did you say?
He's coming to talk, so we are going to listen.
To consult you?
Well, we are going to listen. Whether he's going to consult, whether he's going to give us some information, whatever it is, we'll be listening.
Are you saying that that's the first time he's doing this?
Yes. Since the 21st that we rose. So, Evans, now you had a whole 1 month. You've wasted it. The first week of Parliament.
So, you will go, you see him. You agree, you've agreed to see him.
Condition. It's going to be official. So put it into writing, we'll come with secretaries, we'll come with recorders.
Okay.
So that we'll record everything that...
And this meeting will happen tomorrow?
Tomorrow, God willing, we have scheduled 9 a.m.
Okay.
So we are going to do that tomorrow. So you've consumed all the 1 month. You are consuming the first week. Remember, the speaker is available. We've all gone to have some deep rest. It is now that speaker even has some reserve energy because of his ill health to be able to carry, because yesterday you saw him sit for 5 hours. Now yesterday, speaking of that, I said, oh, I thought you were going to prioritize the E-levy. So the finance minister said he wants to go and do consultation and other things. So you are going to consume the whole of the 1 week. Evans, I'm sorry that sometimes I put these some fine details. Everybody in leadership, unless you...
We'll be going live to Parliament later in the bulletin for the latest on that meeting. Meanwhile, Vice President of Imani Ghana, Salom Brantier, has described government's town hall meeting on e-levy as an exercise in futility and waste of taxpayers' money. Speaking on the AM show, Vice President of the think tank said it's untenable that in spite of glaring opposition, the government is not backing down on the policy.
The finance minister is asking us to engage, and you are unwilling to compromise in any form or manner. In spite of the hugely negative feedback that the government has since this was mooted, then I believe that even the parliamentarians who are in favor are actually going against the will of their own constituents. And it is very unfortunate that the government is still planning to bulldoze this way, bully everybody else into accepting something that obviously requires much more consultation, requires much more understanding and openness. As for the flowery, promises or outcomes that this is supposed to have, it is neither here nor there, because we are looking at a situation where already the economic outlook by several other parameters or several other variables has been seen to be bleak. And therefore, you do not expect people to jump into this with welcome arms at all. And I don't know what the objectives are for the town hall meetings, etc., but they do not shed further light than the light that has been shed already on why they want to go through this e-levy.
Let's go to Parliament, where my colleague Kwesi Parker-Watson is live from there, and he's going to give us an update of the meeting between the Finance Minister, Minority and Majority Caucus behind the e-levy. Parker, what's the status of that meeting? It seems like we've lost Parker. But we will try and reach him again. And the Finance Minister, alongside the Majority and Minority Caucus, will have a meeting today to discuss the e-levy. Well, later today on State of Play, the three heads, Raymond Akwa, Evans Mensah and Winston Amwa, will take on the subject of the return of the e-levy debate in Parliament, with a twist inspired by Muntaka's Mubarak's pronouncements. Here is what to expect.
So State of Play Thursday 2:30 is exclusively on social media. We are asking a very critical question based on what we now know may happen next week in Parliament. It's a simple one. Parliament is back, but the blows are still not off the table. The big question is why? We're going to get into that. We're telling you the stakes are very high. Government, this is a pretty desperate time for government. They need the e-levy. It's almost a do or die affair if they don't get it passed. We're going to be breaking it down for you and telling you why Parliament holds the key. That's it, really. It's exclusively only on social media. It's on Joy 99.7 FM, our handle. It's on Twitter. It's hashtag State of Play. Join us.
Make sure you join Evans and the team. State of Play is live on the Facebook pages of Joy 99.7 FM and on Joy News and across our other social media pages at 2:30 p.m. State of Play, politically incorrect. Let's go back to Parliament. Parker gives us a status of that meeting between the Finance, Minority and Majority Caucus, and they're discussing the e-levy. Parker, what's the status of that meeting?
Well, so, Mark, the meeting ended just about 10 minutes ago. The delegation from government was led by the Finance Minister himself, kind of supported by the majority of the State Minister. We also have the local government minister, Dan Boche, and the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, from the government side. Now, if you come to the NDC side, they selected their ranking members. So if you're an NDC MP and you're the leader of a committee on your side, you work in this particular meeting. Now, my source tells me that in this meeting, the NDC was clear that whatever the Finance Minister was saying was nothing new, and that they have to return to the table and engage further. The NDC would want to go and consult the Momo agents. They want to consult the banks, they want to consult the telcos to have a better appreciation of the impact of this deal before they come to the negotiation table. And so there was no concrete resolution on the levy for today's meeting. So both sides agreed that, well, they will suspend, hold on to the meeting, return tomorrow, and engage further. Now, it is the hope of the majority caucus that tomorrow when they return to the table, the minority would buy into the idea of the implementation or the approval of the e-levy. So for now, we can confirm to our viewers that the meeting happened, but it was inconclusive. So tomorrow, they return to continue with engagement.
All right, so that's my colleague Kwesi Parker Wilson giving us an update on that meeting live from Parliament. Now, majority of Ghanaians never got tested for COVID-19, and that's the latest revelation from the Ghana Statistical Service Household and Job Tracker Survey. The survey further reveals fear of stigma is predominant reason people did not get tested. Those who ascribe fear for their failure not to test represent 37.8% of the respondents. The survey focused on the impact of the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. Victor Osu-Boating is the project coordinator of the Ghana Statistical Service Household and Job Tracker Survey.
Some of the responses is saying that yes, the facility is far away from them. Others are also from the survey saying that the facility is very far from wherever they are, and also getting the fear of getting infected at the testing site, which is also very interesting. So that if we educate more, put the measures in place, telling that yes, you can go there, get tested, but all protocols will be observed so that they will not be infected is something that we should encourage. So more education is needed on that aspect so that more people can get tested, get vaccinated. So for the stigmatization, as I said, more people should be encouraged to get tested and all get vaccinated so that that kind of stigmatization, fear of it should be alleviated or taken away so that people can make themselves more available. And also encouraging Ghanaians to resort to reuse if the 1 cedi of the face mask every day of 12 cedi a week on average, or the mean is going to, that's 22 cedis, it's going to have a financial implication on their income and expenditure, should result to that of the reuse mask, which will help so that after using it, you wash it and you can also use it back.
The Ghana Ambulance Service at inquiry in the Atrima Noa Biaja municipality says some residents shunned their services, perceiving them for COVID-19 management team. Senior Emergency Medical Technician Kwabena Edu says some communities get scared anytime the ambulance arrives, thinking they're in for COVID-19 patients.
The Inkaria Ambulance Service started operations in March last year. They have since attended to 988 cases. Senior Emergency Medical Technician Kwabena Edu says working in the area has been challenging as residents perceive anyone being picked by the ambulance as a COVID-19 patient. Attending emergency cases therefore becomes difficult. Mr. Edu says the service has to bridge the gap by 80% through massive education in collaboration with the local assembly.
Unfortunately, we came at a time where the COVID pandemic had just, had come in the country. People had their issues with education. I think people were confusing us with we dealing with COVID cases. So people were much afraid of our cases, or of our duties actually. Whenever they see an ambulance coming in, definitely they would think you are coming in for a COVID case or attending a COVID emergency. But through education and through the help of our assembly too, I think we were able to bridge the gap between people understanding our core mandate as emergency medical technicians in the district. So basically now, I think irrespective of whatever challenges, we are now at least 80% doing well.
The constituents say they were ill-informed about the operations of the ambulance.
That was the duration when they came. Even when they see the car, they term it as COVID car. You have to let the people know that no, they were not there just for the COVID patient, but they are there for us in terms of emergencies.
It is ambulance not just a COVID-19 Aba.
The ambulance service started operations in a temporary structure provided by the assembly. The new facility has been constructed and furnished with necessities. Mr. Edu says they are better resourced to deliver the best of services.
The assembly has been so good to us. When we even came here, they gave us an office temporary to be used for our operations. And they understood what we are doing, and thankfully they'll be able to accomplish whatever we wanted. And I know definitely it's going to help in our operations as emergency medicals, so we can even give better results or better yields in our operations and our jobs.
The Municipal Assembly says it is committed to providing a conducive environment for emergency medical services.
3 people, including a Chinese, are in police custody in connection with the wrongful use of a skidder-to-cart log on the Ijisukumasa Road in the Ashanti region. Police in Ijusu are after 2 others, including the owner of the truck which was carrying the log. 2 policemen found in the viral video have also been queried. Nanea Jema has more in this report.
Residents are incensed at a viral video showing a dangerous scene of a heavy lifting machine carrying timber in the busy traffic intersection. The skidder posed danger to commuters, including pupils on a school bus, as the driver maneuvered his way around in attempts to transport the log. So far, the 3 in police custody include a Chinese, owner of the skidder, and the sawmill where the log was received, as well as drivers of both the skidder and the timber truck which was carting the log. Municipal Chief Executive Samuel Oduro-Frimpong says appropriate charges are yet to be preferred against the suspects.
3 people have been arrested. The owner of the sawmill, who is a Chinese, is also the owner of the skidder. So there were 2 drivers who were using the skidder. All of them have also been arrested. So at the moment we have 3 people behind bars. We are left with the driver of the truck and the owner of that truck. According to my information this afternoon, the owner had been arraigned before Central Police Station by a Forestry Commission. So we spoke to him that just from there he should come to the Ejutsu Police Station for them to get all the information they want and then put them before court tomorrow for the law to take its course. So that is what we have done so far.
Any possible charges will be preferred? Are you aware?
Yeah, I'm yet to be told by the police, but I'm sure for causing fear and panic alone, that's I'm sure they will be dealt with. And then I know skidder goes to the bush, make sure they pick the lumber and put it on. But for what they did yesterday and for causing fear and panic, I know the professionals will be able to prefer the right charges against all those who are involved, and then they'll be dealt with by the law.
Meanwhile, the Ejisu Municipal Security Council is meeting to prefer measures to prevent reoccurrence. For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima, Kumasi.
The Right to Information Commission says it is not satisfied with public participation in accessing information from public offices. Commissioner Iyasapong Boating revealed only 200 Ghanaians have so far applied for information under the Right to Information Act. He's encouraging more Ghanaians, especially journalists, to take advantage of the law to source information. Ohiming Teria has more.
The Right to Information Act 2019, Act 989, was passed by Ghana's Parliament on March 26, 2019, after several years of waiting. It became effective in January 2020 after it received presidential approval on May 21, 2019. The passage into law of the Right to Information Bill has been hailed by many, especially journalists, in sourcing information from especially public institutions. But 2 years after the law became effective, the Right to Information Commission says only 200 applications have been received. Iyasapong Boating is the Right to Information Commissioner.
Well, if you have over 30 million Ghanaians and you can record about 200 usage, then you cannot say that you have been successful. It's the beginning of its usage. We are expecting that more and more people will take advantage of it, and then it will help deepen the law. Yes, as a commission, we have received complaints. Complaints may speak to two sides of a matter, because some may have been successful in getting what they want, and then some may not have been successful. So we may have received complaints on a few cases, but I think that so far so good. Ghanaians have shown a resolve to using it and making sure that our public institutions are accountable.
Despite the few people taking advantage of the law, the RTI Commissioner says it is too early to measure its success. Rather, he says Ghanaians must be encouraged to test the law as the Commission increases public sensitization campaigns.
I'm reluctant to talk about successes. I think that the biggest success is that we have accepted to have this law operate in our environment in Ghana. As to the successes, I think it is too early to measure it. We should wait till it has been used for over maybe 5 years before we can actually tell how well we have implemented it. But so far, I think that there are some Ghanaians who have made it a point to utilize the dictates of the law in all aspects of the public discourse. And we should commend them for their efforts at using the law. What I would like to add is that when you use the law to activate the process of getting some information and you are not successful, we shouldn't end it there. We should test the law to the limits beyond the commission, go as far as the courts as well. A few Ghanaians have done that. I would encourage that. I would encourage more Ghanaians to take advantage of that, especially the journalists.
The Commission hopes to expand its current public education drive from 6 to all regions. From Kumasi, Ohiming Teria reporting.
As part of its Golden Jubilee anniversary, the celebrated Ghanaian music group Joyful Way Incorporated is adopting a health facility in need in the country. The selected health facility will be renovated and put in a state expected of a modern health facility. This was revealed by the president of the group, Stephen Otu, who was speaking at a media launch of the anniversary in Accra on Wednesday. Joy News' Mausi Numon and Tasha Michelle have the rest of the story.
At the media launch of the 50th anniversary, Joyful Way Incorporated has been recounting its story and evaluating their impact on society. Group President Stephen Otu has been explaining a number of projects they will be executing as part of its effort to give back to the society.
So it's anniversary year, and one of the things that this anniversary is anchored on is to make sure that we build a legacy for the coming generations. And so we intend to launch what would be the Joyful Way evangelism track that would be able to go out be more mobile, going out from villages to villages upon call to go and preach the word of God. We intend as well to, adapt some health center that we are going to call the Joyful Way Health Center, and then we go there to relocate people who are there as part of our legacy project. This will be one of the things we'll do externally, but internally we'll be telling our story in our book, in our documentary, and in many other things as well.
According to him, the group has made significant contribution to society since its founding some 50 years ago, and promised that the group will not neglect its role in development and change.
Joyful Way has brought a lot of changes in the Ghanaian contemporary music. We started to the introduction of instruments, the playing of drums and other things in music. And you can see from since in the days we started in 1970s, we can see a lot of contemporary introductions into the music industry, and we continue to do that. But we do all of this still anchored in the Word of God, and that is what makes Joyful Way very beautiful and impactful.
Also at the launch, the chairman of the board of directors of Joyful Way Incorporated, Samuel Ewo, outlined a number of activities to mark this anniversary.
So our 50th anniversary celebration is going to be a year-long celebration, and we have had the official media launch today. Following from today, we're going to have an array of activities. We're going to have internal conferences, external conferences, engagement with media, have people who are in the gospel music space equally come together to deliberate on some of the very pertinent issues that confront.
You're still watching Joy News Today with me, Mapita Sibidi. Up next is business. Businesses without data protection licenses may not be able to bid for government contracts going forward. That is the director from the Data Protection Commission, in collaboration with the Public Procurement Authority. The Data Protection Act mandates all firms to obtain data protection license before beginning operations. There's more in the following report.
Speaking at a press conference to update journalists on the Data Protection Week, Executive Director of the Data Protection Commission, Patricia Edusaipoku, said the new order has become necessary to protect clients and the general public from data abuse since the country is embarking on many digital initiatives. According to her, obtaining a license from the Commission is a basic requirement for firms that deal in data collection for their daily activities.
Register with any regulator to be able to do your business. The National Pensions Authority or any other regulator for that matter, the NCA, they would demand your data protection license in order to renew your existing license or to register you anew. That way, if you haven't registered with the Commission, you find yourself needing to come and register with us during the course of the year or as soon as your license is due for renewal. That has also triggered a lot of business uptake for us because that is our way of, catching those who are under the radar. Another way is that we are asking other authorities to demand the data protection license in order for, especially those in the private sector, to be able to take on contracts. So the PPA is now working with us to expect contract holders to have their data protection license.
She has been elected to represent Ghana as president for the Africa Data Protection Agencies, a development that positions the country as a standard in the industry.
Ghana won the presidency of the Network of African Data Protection Authorities. So I, on behalf of Ghana, has become the president of all data protection authorities in Africa. We are obviously positioned as a nation as the trailblazer for this kind of work for the region. Ghana is setting the pace for the rest of the world to follow as far as data protection implementation of supervisory authorities' mandate is concerned. It puts us in a position to also set a good example for the region, to work with our key stakeholders to ensure that there is a proper standardized protection mandate to ensure a consistency of delivering and also setting the standard for the region by which the region will know what to do in terms of delivering the mandate.
The Commission will be engaging chief executives of data collection firms as part of the week's celebration in Accra.
That's it for business. Up next is sports.
Time now for sports on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. After Black Stars' horrendous performance in the ongoing African Cup of Nations, many Ghanaians are disappointed and are demanding that the national team is dissolved. But Minority Leader of Parliament, Haruna Idrissa, has called on Ghanaians to forgive the players. According to him, spilled milk can never be recovered.
When did they assemble? When you say Black Stars as a team, they didn't gel as a team because they didn't play together as a team. That was part of our problem. How can you make a substitution at 90 minutes? Then ask the player to warm in and walk out. We saw him do that. Then even when you suffer, Mr. Speaker, the disgrace of Como was largely because of the early conceding that goal in the fifth minute. I'm sure that's even got Ayu exiting with a red card because he had come determined that I will survive today. In any case, even if we won, we're not going to qualify. So, Mr. Speaker, my first advice would be that let's show sportsmanship. Let's show sportsmanship. You see, football, you win happiness, you lose happiness. That's what sportsmanship means. So we have to forgive the Black Stars and move forward. We must forgive the Black Stars and move forward. You see, Mr. Speaker, and to my senior, the Honorable Katie Hammer, when your milk pours down, can you take all of it back? You don't cry over spilled milk. So, Mr. Speaker, I think we must endeavor to find a heart of forgiveness for the Black Stars, for its management, and manage the transition. But task the minister and the FA to work to transition the coach, work to transition him. Because between now, you don't want us to blame you if Nigeria beats us or defeats us and say that their jollof was already better than ours. They have added football to it. That will be another trouble for you. But we necessarily must qualify. And Mr. Speaker, one of our colleagues, when he was making his point, questioned why the Black Stars were in Qatar. It was for good reason. He was using it sometimes because of our economic standard, so that he prepares them, anticipating that we will qualify for Doha. Then they would have gotten acclimatized to the weather. But there are those who are very critical of the coach that, why did you choose Doha or Qatar? This was the reason. His anticipation is that, no, but at least get used to the atmosphere within the constraints of the resources. But how much are we ready? How much are we ready to pay for a Black Stars coach? I know that there were efforts to get Hervé Renard, if you remember, the one who led Ivory Coast and Zambia into winning those cups. Nothing was heard of it, and that was it. So probably we should have a mix of the coaches. Yes, make use of our local talent. Where it is necessary to use a foreigner, I don't think that we should rule it out completely. But at least we should make the best use of it.
Meanwhile, Majority Leader Ose Chimensa Bonsu has said that the Black Stars players were not technically good enough to compete against the best in the continent.
Technically, the players are not up there. Forget about the accolades that our sports journalists are heaping on them. Technically, they are not there. And even for those of them who are outside, what is the quality of the teams that they are playing for? Many of them are warming the benches of second round and third round teams. And yet, we are heaping all manner of accolades on them, thereby gingering support here in Ghana. And yet we know, if we come to interrogate the competence of the players, each of them, that most of them are not up there. So we have maybe one or two world-class players in the team. But is that enough to win tournaments? I watched just two of the games that they played. I would say to myself that the one that we lost against Comoros perhaps was our best match, even though we played short of one person, of one player.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Showbiz on Joy News today. And this afternoon, in the stories, Ghanaians like to put themselves in a box, says Safa. Ghanaian musician Safa has spoken about Ghanaians and how they go about their craft. And instead of moving to different areas to actually talk about their craft, they rather want to sit at a sitting area. And she thinks it's a bad thing to do. Here is more.
Of talent. It's just that, you know, as I always say, Ghanaians love to put themselves in a box. They love to be at one place. They don't like to explore. They don't like to try new things. They don't like to broaden their wings, you know, because you can do everything you want to do in Ghana, but once the other people out there don't even understand what you're doing, they're not going to patronize it, because there's a lot of money to be made out of your country. Do you understand? They just need to understand what you're doing, understand what you're singing, because we already have the talent. Imagine we start singing more in English, and maybe once in a while we add our local languages or something. We can even sing in our local language, but the way we present it to them, do you understand? So I think we already have the main platform, that is their talent. We just need to work more on it and also make sure we promote ourselves, because we are just stuck here. It's like everybody and their group, everybody's doing,
you know, and that was Ghanaian musician Safa, who is headlining a concert in the Volta region at the Whole Stadium tomorrow. Away from that, 2020 had an effect on every musician. Kofi Mole has spoken about the rippling effect of COVID-19 as even in 2022.
Opinion though, looks like 2020 has slowed on every musician in Ghana.
It had an effect. It had an effect on like the music industry. Yeah, because we were not moving. You said the music thing you do, and then you have to like go out to perform to your fans, do other things. But at some point, everything ceased. Yeah, it really had an effect on it.
And you think it's impacting on 2022 too? Like every musician is just at their corner thinking of what next to do.
Me, I'm out of the corner. Me personally, I'm out of the corner because life goes on. So they make man may come, they do some things. But this year, you see how the year start. Yeah, I'm out of the corner. Back.
Nothing they happen.
And that was musician Kofi Mole, who was out with an EP called Nakaveli. Now, that will be all for Showbiz today here on Joy News. Of course, my name is KMJ. Over to you, Maps.
Thank you very much, KMJ. Lovely to see you on the set.
Love to see you as well.
All right, now that's how we wrap up Joy News today. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Mapita CBD. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.